Hello everyone, Jenna Dix, Minnesota GOP Secretary, wanting to pop in and share a Q2 update with all of you. It is already about 3 weeks into Q3 of 2023, but as you all know, Minnesota summers are quick and furious and they just feel like you blink and they're over. So all of a sudden you're like, it was July 4th and how are we 3 weeks into July already? But I hope you and your family are having a fabulous summer. And I know a lot of our Minnesota GOP activists have been busy doing tons of great things for the party, tons of great things for their state. And I wanted to pop in and just share a quick update with you because just like you, we at the board, we've been busy doing lots of stuff and I just wanted to share that update. So as you know, Q2 kicked off. We were mid-convention season. Conventions have all already wrapped, obviously, at this point. They wrapped up beautifully. I know a lot of the activists were hard at work getting those set up, so a huge thank you to all of you, of course. We see, we have new delegates and alternates in place at this point. We just got a lot done at those conventions, and they were a great place to come together and really, gather some momentum again. We had the elections, and then it just felt like kind of downslid into the next year, and conventions were a great point where we could all just collect, connect, and re-engage and get that motivation going. So in addition to convention season ending, we also saw the legislative session end, and I think I am not alone in saying it was a good one to watch come to an end because we needed it to. It was, again, another situation, fast and furious. With the trifecta in play, it was a rough session for our side. Nonetheless, we got to watch our legislators, our GOP legislators, go in there and they fought hard. I had the privilege of going to a couple different sessions, and those senators and representatives, they worked so incredibly hard for our state. And I'm proud to say at this point that I am a Republican here because watching those people fight for what was right was incredible. And I know it did not go a way that a lot of us wanted to see, but you know what? Having the people that we had there doing what Minnesotans truly wanted to see happening was an amazing thing. So huge thank you, of course, to all of our legislators. I know a lot of us were saying prayers for them daily, sometimes multiple times a day with some of the things going on. But, we have another session coming up at us next year, and we just want to make sure that we continue to support our legislators as we prepare for that. And I know a lot of them are already prepping for their next races, and we just want to continue making sure that we are giving them the support that they need. So we had some tied up ends there with the conventions and the session. In addition to that, one thing for me as secretary that I got the first privilege of doing was a local prayer breakfast here in Woodbury gave me the honor of reading a prayer for over government. And it was an incredible honor. And it was really cool. And I want to recommend to any Minnesota GOP activists, representatives, senators, if you have the honor of getting invited to something like this, make sure you go. Because I can tell you this, there's not a single Democrat leader in that room. And I'm from a community, Woodbury, where all of our representatives and our senator are DFL, and none of them were there. So make sure you make your presence known in those spaces, especially when it's something like a prayer breakfast, because that's what our side stands for. So make sure to hit up those events if you do have them in your local community. Make sure to have the presence and be in those spaces where we should be. Where if we're standing up for God, we're there, okay? Like I said, it was a great honor. I really enjoyed being able to stand up there and pray over government, but in addition, it was just an amazing feeling to see a community coming together in faith. We need that right now more than ever. Quick touch on one of the biggest things that myself as secretary, but in addition to that, a co-chair on what we're calling the affiliates committee. That was something that we got set up right at the end of Q1 of this year. Myself, Alec Beck from CD5, and Barb Sutter, our RNC chairwoman, we are the co-chairs for the affiliates committee. And this is a committee that is within the Minnesota GOP where we are partnering with all 12 affiliate groups, making sure that they are getting what they need from the Minnesota GOP, that we are getting, we're having that good collaboration so that we are setting everyone up for success as we head into, 2023 elections, which we get, smaller ones. We have some school boards, some city council, some exciting ones there, but in addition, preparing for those next big elections that will be down the road. We want to start preparing early, in advance, because we know that is what we need to do to be successful. So with the affiliates committee, we have been able to add a rotating seat on the board itself. So every single month when the state exec board meets, we do have a representative from the affiliates group there, which is nice. We have their voice in the room. They, like I said, it's a rotating one, so we can't fit an additional 12 people in that room, but we can fit one. So they report back then to the rest of the affiliates on what's been going on. They also have a section in the monthly newsletter where they're popping in information, so make sure you're checking that out. They're going to have access to some of the Minnesota GOP tools. We just, like I said, really want to make sure we're collaborating because we know, end of the day, being a team is what's going to help everyone in the end. So with that being said, if you have not yet checked out the affiliates groups, I highly encourage you to. Like I said, we have 12 within the state right now. And there might be one that you're like, I never thought about that. But yeah, I'm a veteran. Why am I not in the veterans affiliate group? Or I'm a woman. Why am I not in the women's federation? Check those out. There's 12 in total. You can also, a great opportunity to, catch up with all of them is at the Minnesota State Fair. So all of the affiliates, in addition to all of the congressional districts, will be at the state fair at the end of August. Great, Minnesota get together, and the Minnesota GOP has a nice booth, and it's a great place to connect. We have some cool merch that will be there as well, so make sure to pop in there if you're heading to the fair this year. Like I said, 2023, not huge races coming up, but we do have, some smaller ones. And what got me involved in the first place, right? I am, like many other young women here in Minnesota, a mama bear. And mama bears right now, we are well aware there are a lot of school board races coming up. So if you are in an area that there's a school board race coming up, make sure you're paying attention. Support those candidates. If you have people running in your area on the more conservative side of things, let's back them up. Let's make sure we hit the polls. I know it's not a big race to go vote for, but right now these are the races that matter. Get in there and go and vote. Support these candidates as they head into those races. So Q2, not a ton of huge updates, but a lot of little things that are setting us up for success long term. So make sure, as a Minnesota volunteer, activist, maybe you are somebody who is a little bit more in the game, awesome. Make sure you're paying attention to these small pieces like, what are the affiliates doing? What are the school board races up to? Check in your community if there's any really cool events such as a prayer breakfast or something of that sort. But again, I just wanted to give you a quick update. I appreciate all of you. I've been getting a lot of questions, a lot of reach outs from activists around the state, which has been amazing. Continue to do that. If you have questions, you can reach out to me. My email is jmd@minnesotagop. You can also find me right on the Minnesota GOP website. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your summer because we all know we're going to blink and the snow is going to be flying. So thank you again, and I'll be catching you all soon.